I was raised Catholic. My entire family is Catholic. Fairly practicing. Definitely went to church every Sunday, went to Sunday school. I think what I struggled with the most was, what is God and what defines who God is? And the most part of my life, I never really questioned the Trinity because it's told to you in a way where it said, don't question it, just believe it. So I didn't question it and I just believed it until maybe 20, 21 years old. Towards the end of my college career, I started having, a test of faith, questioning, what is the God that I'm praying to? Am I doing this the right way? Because I don't see a connection. SubhanAllah, the first instances that I had heard of it was from reading up on Muhammad Ali. When I got really into reading about him, his biography, and I found out about how he was born Cassius Clay and then became Muhammad Ali. And this was maybe the seeds that planted into my brain about Islam. And I recognized that he was a man of character. He was a man of values. He was a man who didn't go to war because he didn't align with what was going on in Vietnam, right? Much like Muslims today don't align with what's going on in Gaza. There's a trend there we can see. So I recognized from a very early age reading about him that Islam wasn't a bad thing. And so a close friend of mine, Yusuf, if he's ever going to watch this, may Allah reward him and bless him, he gave me a copy of Quran in English. You know what? No, I got to correct that. He didn't give me the Quran, but he's the one that answered my questions about it as I read it. And kind of like, I remember I had initial conversations with him like, yo man, I started reading the Quran. And he's like, whoa, like, are you Muslim? No, not yet. But like, the not yet is a big thing because you're saying you're kind of on your way. So reading the Quran is what kind of pushed me through the finish line. There was no moment that it hit me, but instead like a series of nights. It was from about a 2-month span where I would go to bed, and before bed every night, 5-10 minutes, open up the Quran, read where I left off. And as you know, especially Surat Al-Baqarah, which is such a, it's a massive chapter. It's like in my opinion, it's the most incredible part of the Quran. This is just the way that I see it. It's all incredible. But a lot of it is directed at people of Ahlul Kitab, right? People of the book. A lot of it is rhetoric to make you question. And they're not tough questions to answer. They're very, very simple, right? And I remember as I went through Baqarah, again, towards like the initial stages of me reading every night, I remember exactly where I read on my bed, where the nightstand, where I keep it on the nightstand. I don't forget these things. And I remember going, this book is God speaking to me. There's no way this book isn't God speaking to me, because whatever question I had about God is being answered to me in the form of a question, which is even crazier. It's asking me the question and then it's giving me the answer. So I think that's when it hit me. I remember speaking to a brother. He told me, what's holding you back from taking a shahada? And I was like, you know what? It's just that like, I want to make sure that I like know everything. And he told me, and I'll never forget this, he told me the Sahaba did not wait to perfect their character or their shortcomings before they took their shahada. They just took their shahada and eventually things went along, right? And that's something that always going to stick with me whenever I talk to a revert and they encounter struggles. It's something you tell them because you don't change overnight. You don't become perfect overnight. It's a lifelong process, right? So one night, without telling anybody, with one of my friends, I went to like a lecture with him. He didn't know I was going there to take shahada. He thought I was just going to learn. And then I got up and I took shahada. Alhamdulillah.